Let me check real quick. How are you? How's everything? It's the first Sunday of December. I'm excited. I'm not sure about you, but yeah, here we go. All right. Welcome back to Ask Jason Anything Sunday live session. So this is Jason. In case this is the first time you see me, I'm a Facebook ads strategist specializing in Facebook ads strategy and optimization. So fundamentally, if you're running ads on Facebook and Instagram, and you are already seeing some results and you wish to take it to the next level, that's where we can work together. Okay, I help businesses strategize steps towards improving their Facebook ads performance. Like, for example, if you're spending $1,000 now to get $10,000 in revenue, and you want to actually push it to maybe 12,000, for example, with the same amount of spend, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Eventually, what we would do is we would draw a plan and then we will optimize one variable at a time. So this is usually like at least 2 to 3 months program where we work together to take your campaign to the next level. But it's meaningful process and exercise because on top of achieving really tangible results with all the strategies and the optimization in place, you also get to learn to sharpen your eye towards like spotting the optimization opportunities and learning how to do this on your own. So a lot of clients actually work with me for a few months, mainly to sharpen their eye and senses, and eventually they'll be able to do it on themselves. I mean, the whole thing that I'm actually doing here is to equip you with the necessary skill. Okay. Although I do have clients working with me for slightly longer term, like some of them are already with me for about like 6 months or more. But what I aim to achieve with every client that I work with on the optimization program is to graduate you so that you'll be able to do this on your own. I mean, it's beneficial if you are running a business yourself, you are the boss, you are the business owner. It's definitely beneficial for you to learn this because eventually if you outsource it to an agency or like hand these tasks to your team member to handle, you'll be able to quickly come in, maybe like once or twice a week to quickly spot what's happening in your campaign so that you know what's really working and what's not working, and you can even advise your team for that. So your agency, your team won't be able to bluff you on this. So it's a very necessary skill for business owners. And of course, if you are, like at the same time, if you're a business owner, you want to help your team to achieve better result at the same time, like kind of like sharpen their skill on this. This is also a program that we can actually help them as well, because when we work together, you can rope your team in, okay, so that they can actually also learn along the way. So it's a very beneficial program for organization. So I work with organizations as well, so yeah, so that's what I do. Anyway, optimization is what I really love doing. But of course, on top of that, I do, like Facebook ads training. This is a live training that I do once every 2 months. We just did the last one was in November. So the next one should be in January, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So yeah, if you're interested to learn that, then I would strongly recommend that you join my mailing list. Just go to my website, okay, and find, like there are a few free trainings that you can join to really learn something useful for your Facebook advertising journey. Just join any one of them. And then you'll be in my mailing list. And whenever I have new announcement on new things, new training, for example, I do occasional free training as well. So you don't want to miss the opportunity to learn some specific knowledge on Facebook advertising and digital marketing from time to time. So that's what we do. Okay, right. So what I do here anyway, so that's what I do in general. So what I do here on this Sunday night live session is, I would actually go live for half an hour to answer questions about Facebook advertising mainly. So if you have any Facebook ads related questions, the first thing I would encourage you to do is go to my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search for Jason Gunn, and start by searching for an answer in my YouTube channel, because I've got over 1,000 videos on my YouTube channel, answering questions mainly. And chances are I probably have covered your question or anything similar to that. So now if I do, then you can actually quickly just get a quick answer and move on your way, right? But if you can't find an answer, doesn't matter. All you need to do is just post your question as a comment on any of my YouTube videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to screenshot the question, and I'm going to go live and answer it in the following Sunday, just like what I'm going to do next in a few, like 10, 20 minutes. So yeah, come back on the following Sunday to listen to my answers. And of course, if you're here watching me live, you can also post your question in the chat as well. which I will also cover that. But let me go through all the questions that I captured in the past 1 week first over here. Okay, so let me bring up the screen. All right, so yeah, so Ask Jason Anything happens every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Malaysia time. So yep, half an hour. So it's a real quick thing. So I mean, this is actually for general, generic, like questions that you can wait. But if you have something that you need immediate question, when I say immediate, doesn't mean that within 24 hours you will get to see me. Yeah, no. Immediate means you can actually, like buy me a meal, buy me a dinner, and then after that, you can actually schedule a 30-minute one-on-one call with me on Zoom. So this is a QR code that you can scan. It will take me to my Fiverr gig. All you need to do is buy me a dinner. And then after that, you can actually get the link to schedule a 30-minute one-on-one call with me to, whether we go through your campaign analytics or to answer any questions you have. I mean, this is actually very useful for those who need really quick answers. That you don't want to wait, and some of you may have some PNC questions that you don't want to reveal to the world. Then you can actually use this to ask me, personally one-on-one. So that's what we do. Okay, scan this QR code, like buy me a dinner on Fiverr, then we can meet. Okay, now the first question I have here is coming from Reddit Insight 676. So the question goes, can you remove Facebook page from a restricted business manager? Okay, so this is a very easy one. The answer is no. So the moment your business manager, Meta Business Manager, is tainted in a way, meaning you have got, like disabled ad account, okay, or permanently restricted Facebook page or ad account in the business manager, or even have a, like one of your admin is permanently restricted, that business manager is considered tainted and you won't be able to do anything on it. So the pages linked to the business manager are locked within. The Instagram as well are locked within. I mean, yeah, you won't be able to remove it. Now, for Instagram account, you may be able to remove it, but you are not able to add it to another business manager. Most probably, you won't be able to do that anymore. So that's the problem of a tainted, we call, or permanently restricted business manager. You want to really take care of your business manager. We don't want to do anything that Facebook do not want us to do. But however, we know that sometimes this is really not our fault, right? Sometimes they just flaggers. I mean, I'm not sure for what nonsense reason sometimes, but that's nothing much we can do at the moment. You can try your best to reach out to Meta and all that, but as long as you're in the permanently restricted state, you're not able to do anything. So the quick answer to that here is you are not able to remove a Facebook page from a permanently restricted business manager. There is no other way to do this. So please do not like buy me a dinner to have a call with me just to discuss this. I won't be able to help you seriously. I wish I could, but I'm sorry. This is really something that is beyond my capacity. But if you're at the stage where you're having some restricted account and like you want to actually navigate the next best step to get back into advertising again, because in my opinion, it's actually very simple. Like when a page is restricted, like ad account is restricted, even though you have hundreds of thousands of followers on the page, I've seen it. Like the other day, I just met someone who runs a monetized Facebook page that makes close to $10,000 every month, okay, with a few hundred followers on the Facebook page, but it was linked to a business manager that is permanently restricted. We can't get it back. But doesn't matter. In fact, you have built this, you can actually build it again. So what we will do is we want to make sure that we set it right for the next step. Eventually, we want to set up a new business manager, create a new page, and make sure that we are not running into this restriction issue again. So if you need help navigating the next best step to get back into that, whether you want to get back into advertising and all that, you can then schedule a one-on-one discussion with me, just in case you need like really personalized advice on how to do that. So scan this QR code, buy me a dinner, then we can actually have a 30-minute Zoom call to go through your situation, and I'll be able to give you, like the recommendation or the next best steps you can take to get back into advertising. Okay, now so that's that. And the next question here is coming from Eldon. It's about, like this question was posted on my video about Facebook ads objective for landing pages. So Eldon was asking, what's my take on using Facebook ads to promote your best blog posts? I do not object that. In fact, I think it's a very good idea, because sometimes a blog post, a well-written blog post and the best performing blog post usually helps you connect your audience with the strongest intent and eventually you're able to convert some of your audiences into a paying customer, of course. But what I want to say here is having a, the best blog post or a good performing blog post is not enough. You have to make sure that the blog post is connected to a funnel or a few funnels that can actually channel your audience into the next step with you, whether to start with a, a low ticket offer, or to actually get them into, booking a call with you and all that. So you need to make sure that all the next steps are being planted in with all the, a link back and all that in your blog post article and the entire thing. Then you can actually use that to run ads. Yeah, I like the idea to do that. Seriously, Eldon, I think it's a very good idea to run ads to help more audiences discover your best performing blog post, because you know that for sure people are reading it, people are liking it, people are engaging with it, and people are actually taking action to go next step with you. So yes, so that's something that I think you should do. Okay, Eldon? Yeah, all right, so that's for that. Next, we have the next question coming out from Ocean Break Media. So the question goes, right. So you tried to turn on the two-factor authentication on your Facebook Business Manager, but when you change it to no one to everyone, meaning in your Business Manager, you change the two-factor from no one to everyone means everybody would have to set up their two-factor authentication in order to log into the Business Manager. That's good. And when you try to log in into your BM, you say two-factor authentication required. And when you click on Get Started, it brought you back to the page. And you say you can't make this change at the moment because you're not using the device. It's not true, because it was the device you always use for Facebook. Yeah, this is a slightly more complicated. Okay, I may not be able to give you the direct route to do this, because I actually encountered a couple of cases like this where we actually, we need to take a few steps in order to get it back. But both cases are actually quite different. So for this case, what I would recommend is, instead of doing it on your phone, Business Manager means you're doing it on the what do we call, on the desktop version. So I would recommend that you start with maybe you can actually start with the alternative two-factor authentication option, meaning instead of using the phone or the Authenticator app, which I usually recommend, you can actually start with an email first, because there should be some option that you can opt for the alternative two-factor authentication. So start with email, and eventually you might get into the state where they will ask you to verify your ID or something like that. Then eventually, once you go through that, you can set up a fresh two-factor authentication. So then you can actually make sure that you set it up on the device, or you actually connect it with the Authenticator app that is installed on your phone. So yeah, that's kind of like roughly the steps that I would recommend to go through. But if you can't really navigate that, I would actually recommend that you contact Meta for that issue. We know that Meta are pretty helpful, but although they may not be really able to help you pinpoint and get the problem solved right away, but at least they will do their best to advise you the next step. You try to go through that first. Yeah. Otherwise, if you are really running out of option, you really need to get it back, then I cannot promise I will really help you to really get rid of the problem. But because I have got some experience working on these kind of cases before with some of my previous clients, I can do my best to walk you through the steps and all that. And hopefully with my experience, I'm able to point you to a better direction to get closer to solving your problem. So if you want to do that, it's the same thing. Scan this QR code, buy me a dinner, then schedule a Zoom call. Let's have a screen share. We walk through the screens together, and hopefully we are able to solve the problem together in the Zoom call. So do that. So if that's what you need, scan this QR code, buy me a dinner, then we can actually have a 30-minute Zoom call to see how we can solve your problem. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, so yeah, I have to be upfront that I'm not from Meta. I am not able to get you backdoor access to anyone in the system and all that, but because I've got some experience, hopefully I am able to give you some different angle to look at this thing. Okay, now the next one is coming from Dante. So the question goes to my video on about, conversion API and the iOS 14.5 issue, which at that point of time, it's really a very big shakeup where a lot of attribution went different, and some of the, the conversion may not be really coming back on time and all that. But Dante's question is, you're actually asking, it's taking 3 days for the data to appear. Is there any way to make it faster? The answer is no. and also saw missing leads using Calendly and Pixel. If you see missing leads and all that, then you probably have to fix on the system side, because this can be multiple, like this can be caused by multiple possibilities. Definitely, I would say recheck through the entire setup to make sure that every single pages on your Calendly and the thank you page and all that are being, I mean, the Metapixel are being installed correctly and set up the proper event for it. So that's what I would actually say to as a start. And of course, you yourself can actually go through the process several times to make sure that every single pages are being installed with the right pixel, and you name it correctly and all that, as in like the event. Then yeah, but having said that, even if you do that, right, missing leads and all that, as in like some attribution when missing, is actually normal. Because there are people who really opt out from the attribution. They don't want Meta to track anything about them. So missing is understandable. But as long as it's not really serious, like you are missing 50% of them, then that's really bad. But if not, if it's just like, like 10, even 20%, I think personally, it's acceptable. Don't need to really make a fuss about it, in my opinion, because it's not really a analytical tool, right? In my opinion, it's just an attribution tool. So as long as you know that, now you're getting 10 leads, but on Facebook you're only seeing like 8, it's fine. It's 10. But on Facebook is only seeing 8, but it's fine. Because it could be it could be because when someone signed up, they send the link to someone else, or they were sharing the ad to someone else, then probably you have some organic leads coming in, not because of the ad. So, it probably is not attributed to that. So, which is normal, which is possible. All right. So that's what I think. Eventually, yeah, we don't really need to make a fuss about it, in my opinion, unless it's really, really bad. Then I would recommend that you actually get somebody who are more experienced in terms of technical side to go through the whole setup again on your website, Calendly and all. And then only, we see what we can do. But go back to the first question, is talking about making it faster. No, there is none. There is no way to do that. I'm sorry. Yeah, because it's really the system and how it is right now. But in fact, it's not that late. It actually only says it may take up to 72 hours. It doesn't mean that it has to be 72 hours. That's what I mean, right? And that's what they mean. And it's only for iOS. Yeah, so, and not all the iOS users are, like going for that kind of strict, like restriction in terms of the data sharing. So it's not that bad, frankly speaking. Yeah. Okay. Right. Thanks for the question. Now, the next one is coming from private user. So it's about profile permanently restricted from advertising. So the question goes, is it too risky? Isn't it risky to add yourself to the new business manager as an admin even after all things get stable? Seems like it's safer to use your father's account, not linking a previously restricted account. Yes. Now, listen carefully. If your profile was linked to a permanently restricted business manager or an ad account or any matter of that, do not use that Facebook profile again to enter any business manager. I say it again, do not use your profile that is associated to any permanently restricted business manager to go into a new business manager. It's not a good thing to do. In fact, you may not be able to do anything about that profile anymore. So my recommendation is, yes, since now you have gotten a new business manager set up with your father's account, that's good. And you create a new profile for yourself instead of using the old profile. Then warm it up, okay, for a couple of months at least. And at the same time, your father's business manager is now being stabilized by running ads and everything. When they are both stabilized, you can add the new profile into your father's business manager as a full admin so that you can actually take over from there. Do not ever, I don't know whether you actually hear this correctly from my video, or I actually make sure I don't make mistake about this, because yeah, but if I do, then let me clear this again. Do not use a profile that is associated to a permanently restricted business manager to go into a new one. That's what I say. Create a new profile instead. Okay. All right. So that's all. I guess we don't have a lot of questions today. And I'm kind of like feeling a bit like exhausted today. So I'm just going to put it a pause. So anyway, although this is a short one, I think this is the useful one. And just in case you watch up to now and you really have some really like pressing questions, you need some help, you can actually scan this QR code, buy me a dinner. This is not free. It will take you to my Fiverr gig. Then you can buy me a dinner. Then we can actually schedule a 30-minute one-on-one discussion over Zoom to go through your situation and for me to answer your question, for me to audit your campaign, for me to give you, any recommendations on your campaign performance and whatnot within 30 minutes. Okay, so scan this QR code and we can meet. Now with that, yeah, I think that wraps this round. So remember, I do this every Sunday night. Yeah, so if you have any questions, just post your questions on any of my videos on my YouTube channel, or come back on the following Sunday to ask me live over here. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Good night. Bye.